The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Apparently, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have set tongues a-wagging when they recently broke bread with David and Victoria Beckham's estranged son, Brooklyn Beckham, and his wife, Nicola. Now, was this truly a coinkydink? A sympathetic couple offering support to a much younger couple who were going through very similar family tensions? Or was there something a little bit more sinister at play? Now we know the Sussexes and the Beckhams are not on the best of terms. Was this perhaps an opportunity for Meghan Markle to get her claws sharpened? You guys, we have a lot of juicy royal daily tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the royal daily tea. So we all know ever since Megxit, the royal family has been split into two separate camps. You have Team Royal Family and Team Sussex. Family, friends, supporters, even celebrities have had to pick a side. You're either Team Timu Royals or the Working Royals. And let's just say most of the real celebrities, the A-list celebrities, the millionaires and the billionaires are rocking with the real royal family. However, Harry and Meghan do have a very strong group of supporters over there in Montecito. But there's a huge list of celebrities who used to be Team Sussex who have jumped over to the royal family. So let's go ahead very quickly and go through that list. The very first one, Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan used to really love Meghan Markle. They were friendly with one another. And of course, he infamously got ghosted the minute she got with H. He loves me so much. The minute she got with him, boy, she ghosted him, and he has not got over that. He is like a dog with a bone, and he has not let that go for almost 8 years now. So Piers Morgan is actually pretty friendly with Queen Camilla. They're actually good friends. And he's also good friends with Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice. So according to Piers Morgan a couple of months ago on his show, he let it slip that Prince Harry was not happy with Princess Eugenie, the fact that she was seen out and about having lunch with Piers Morgan and her sister, Princess Beatrice, and a couple of other people. He was pissed that she was friends with their enemy, right? So according to Piers Morgan, their relationship is not on the best of terms because he is very much up there with the royal family. And of course, Harry and Meghan cannot stand him. Then we have George and Amal Clooney. Remember, the Clooneys attended the wedding of Harry and Meghan. And George famously said, "I don't know her. We don't know them. But hey, we got invited." Now, Jack Brooksbank, the husband of Princess Eugenie, worked with George Clooney on his tequila brand. That's how they kind of know each other. And they got invited to the wedding. Now, of course, at the wedding, Harry and Meghan got to know George and Amal, and they mooched off of the Clooneys and stayed at their Italian villa, probably used their private jet a time or two because, you know, Harry and Meghan love to mooch off of their friends. But apparently that friendship has gone a little stale because recently we saw George and Amal Clooney hanging out with King Charles. And recently, George had an opening night on Broadway, and Meghan did not attend his Broadway opening. Instead, she went to see another Broadway show. Now, a lot of people are like, well, if you're such good friends with George Clooney, why wouldn't you go to his Broadway show? Why did you go to this other Broadway show? According to Neil Sean, George Clooney was not a happy camper. Now, she could have gone the next night. We don't know. But she clearly chose a side. And it wasn't Team Clooney. So that just tells you they must not be the best of friends or close friends, because she literally chose another show instead of going to see George Clooney. Now, another person is Jeremy Clarkson. Do y'all remember Jeremy Clarkson? He's a very interesting man who has a show. Well, in 2022, he came out with an article where he talked about throwing excrement at Meghan Markle, kind of taking a play off of the Game of Thrones. Now, granted, it was a little much. It was a little extreme. People were calling him very misogynistic. They didn't like him. He even came out and made a formal apology, which Meghan Markle refused. So he goes and apologizes to Meghan Markle, and her team pretty much is like, no, that's not good enough for us. So here is what it says. It says, sincerely sorry. Clarkson has said that when he read the article in the paper, he realized he had completely messed up. In January, he said he had emailed the couple over Christmas 2022 to tell them, quote, the language I used in my column was disgraceful, and that I was profoundly sorry. The Sun, as well as deleting the column from its website, said at the time that it was sincerely sorry. However, Harry and Meghan spokesperson dismissed that apology, accusing the paper of profiting and exploiting hate, violence, and misogyny. A true apology would be a shift in their coverage and ethical standards for all, they said. Oh, Harry and Meghan and their grandstanding ethical standards. Now, again, this was in January 2023. So Harry, who just went on the BBC and accused the royal family of wanting to unalive him, I guess he forgot about his moral standards, or he didn't know how much time his father had to live. Yeah, again, really superior on your moral standards. So Jeremy Clarkson apologized for an article that he wrote in, I guess, Sun magazine, and they took it down. They had the power, Harry and Meghan, in 2022 to get a formal apology from the magazine as well as Jeremy Clarkson, and to have the article permanently deleted. Now in 2025, in my opinion, Harry and Meghan don't have that kind of power, because they've actually become part of pop culture where people make fun of them. We have Perez Hilton, Megyn Kelly, Bethany Frankel, Link Lauren, Saturday Night Live, South Park. We have Bill Simmons from Spotify calling them effing grifters. Nobody cares anymore. In May of 2025, the era of people being scared of Harry and Meghan is over. So, but this is back in 2022, where the man was literally groveling and apologizing, and they literally didn't accept it. Believe me, times have changed. But luckily for him, he was able to prevail. Now, recently, rumors have come out that Prince William is going to appear in an upcoming episode of Clarkson's Farm, his very popular show that's on Amazon Prime. It says back in March, Prince William visited Clark's farm and talked with stars Caleb Cooper and Charlie Ireland at an event for the Duchy of Cornwall's next generation of farming tenants. Now, no particular date has been released, but Prince William will appear in an episode of Jeremy Clarkson's Farm. Apparently, he's a really big fan of the show. So planes have got to be flying in Montecito that the man who talked about Meghan Markle being paraded through the streets naked with excrement flung at her like a scene from the Game of Thrones, a man she tried to cancel but who prevailed, is now partnering with Prince William. Talk about chef's kiss and a slap to the face. Now let's get into the Beckhams. Now back in 2016-17, David Beckham was really good friends with Prince Harry. And of course, when Meghan came on the scene, Victoria was also very, very friendly with Meghan Markle, showed her hairdresser, where to get your nails done, that type of thing. Things were going really, really well. However, we all know Meghan Markle has a little jealousy problem. She's a little single white female. She likes to be the top dog. She's a narcissist, and she was very insecure, in my opinion, due to the fact that David and Victoria were richer than them. They were more famous than them. They've been around longer than Meghan Markle. Now, they had a falling out over a couple of things. There was rumors that Meghan Markle, of course, wanted her freebies from Victoria Beckham, and Victoria Beckham said no. Of course, being a royal bride, she couldn't accept freebies anyway. Of course, we all know Meghan Markle threw a fit over not getting freebies. Then there was a weird fallout where Harry called up David Beckham and accused his wife, Victoria Beckham, of tipping off the paparazzi that Meghan Markle was getting her hair did. Are you kidding me? Like Victoria Beckham would really do that. So that didn't go over well, but they went ahead, they went to the wedding. Now the rumor is the Beckhams, they attended the church service, they attended the wedding, but they were not invited to the big after party, the big private reception. They got ghosted, just like all of Harry and Meghan's real friends from Harry's past. They also got ghosted, but can you imagine not inviting the Beckhams? Apparently that happened. Now, 5 months after the wedding, David Beckham flies out to the 2018 Invictus Games in Australia to support Harry and the Invictus Games. And Harry snubs him, literally ignores him. Now, according to, I believe it was Tom Bauer, said that Meghan Markle ordered Harry to stay away from David and Victoria Beckham. She was afraid they were going to steal her thunder. She didn't want to be in a picture with them. She wanted to be top dog, and she didn't want any publicity going to David or Victoria Beckham. So you can imagine how pissed David Beckham was that he flies all the way out there and he gets snubbed by Harry. So after that, things completely fall apart for the Beckhams and the Sussexes. Needless to say, over the past 5 years, David Beckham has become an ambassador for King Charles's The Prince Trust Foundation. And recently, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, rocked a beautiful Victoria Beckham pantsuit. So you know that has got to have Meghan Markle pissed. Now, it is rumored over the past couple of years, Meghan and Harry have supposedly wanted to mend their relationship with the Beckhams, and the Beckhams said, we're good. We're fine. We're going to hang out with Catherine and William and your daddy over here at the Prince Trust Foundation. Now, recently, Prince William, for one of his charities, they had these brand new rescue helicopters that was given to one of the rescue crews, and he invited David Beckham for the unveiling. So here you had this wonderful bromance that's budding, and you know Harry has got to be pissed when he sees pictures of Prince William with David Beckham, or David Beckham with his father, and his father and him bond over honey, and they do a lot of charities together, and he's a brand new ambassador for the Prince's Trust Foundation. Now, we all know that David Beckham wants to become a sir. He wants to be knighted. I'm hoping it will happen. So they are full team royal family. They know what side their bread is buttered. So you have this history of a fallout with Harry and Meghan and the Beckhams, and that Harry and Meghan have tried relentlessly to get back in the good graces of the Beckhams because they realize they're nothing in Hollywood, and the Beckhams are really big A-listers, and they kind of could use some of those A-listers in their pocket. But Victoria and David Beckham are not interested. So now we have the interesting dynamic of the Beckham family. Now, we all know David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, they have a very close family. They have beautiful kids. In my opinion, I love the way that they've raised their kids. I've always felt that they're just one of those celebrity couples who kind of did it the right way. Now, their oldest son, Brooklyn Beckham married Nicola Peltz in 2022. Now, Nicola Peltz is one of 8 children who was born to a billionaire father. He's a billionaire investor. And they apparently are a very close-knit family, and they're very low-key. They're very anti-Hollywood. She's an actress. She's been in Transformers, Bates Motel, a couple of little things, but let's be honest, she's a little trust fund baby. She'll never have to work a day in her life. And of course, Brooklyn Beckham is born from David and Victoria Beckham. He's a super rich nepo baby, a trust fund baby, but he is trying to become an entrepreneur. He does have a line of his own hot sauces that are being sold at Whole Foods. I think it's called Cloud 23. So he's trying. They're both trying to kind of carve out their own life away from their parents, who are all very, very successful. Now, there were some problems right after they got married, or around the time they got married, between Victoria Beckham, who was a designer, and Nicola. There was a fallout over a wedding dress design that Victoria Beckham was going to design one of her wedding dresses. I believe Nicola had like 3 or 4 wedding dresses, but instead she chose Valentino. So there was a little bit of a hiccup. But according to them, they put on a united front and they were acting like everything is fine. There's not a rift. Well, apparently there's a rift, because recently David Beckham celebrated his 50th birthday, and Brooklyn and his wife Nicola were not there. Instead, they posted a photo of each other on his Instagram, and there was no public proclamations of happy 50th, Dad, love you, Dad, sorry I couldn't be there, Dad. Nothing, which is very sad, because again, in my opinion, the Beckhams are a very nice, close-knit family. So what about Nicola? Is she the problem? Is she a Meghan Markle? Did she come in and wedge herself in between the family and break it apart? So you can imagine that the royal family, especially Prince William and King Charles, can sympathize with David Beckham. What he's going through is exactly what the royal family went through when Prince Harry married Meghan Markle. So Harry and Meghan attended a soiree dinner party with around 20 plus VIPs at this very she dinner party in Montecito. Now, the dinner party was hosted by their friends, Tracy and CEO Brian Robbins. He is the CEO of Paramount Pictures. Now, we know that Nicola is an actress, and so her being there with a lot of these VIPs and film executives makes sense. The only reason Harry and Meghan were there was because they're friends of the Robbins and their neighbors. Now, we know they're supposed to be doing Meet Me at the Lake, but honestly, if that thing ever sees the light of day, I will be shocked. So they just happened to be at the same dinner party. I don't think it was planned. I really think it was a coincidence, but here's my thought. You know, Meghan Markle made a beeline for Nicola because she's seeing a couple of opportunities with Brooklyn and Nicola. One, according to Neil Sean, he spoke with someone in Meghan Markle's camp. She's thinking, oh my God, this is my chance. I can go over there and smooth things out with Nicola and Brooklyn, and this will be her in to get back with David and Victoria Beckham. She could be like the peacemaker, make herself look good, like she's such a sweet and caring friend, right? Because we know she's trying to rebuild her friendship with Victoria Beckham, but Victoria Beckham is like done with this woman, right? So you know Meghan Markle is looking for an in, right? If she can get in there and get on the good side of Victoria Beckham and help her mend the bridges with her son Brooklyn and his wife Nicola, she's golden. This is a golden opportunity. But on the other hand, Meghan Markle might be sharpening her little claws and thinking, oh, okay, Victoria, I see you dressing Catherine. I see you, boo. I see you, boo. I got you. I got you. I got you, biatch. So now she could be playing dirty because we know narcissists are manipulative. She could be causing more problems. She could go to Nicola and say, oh my God, you were such a victim of that terrible mother-in-law, Victoria Beckham. I know exactly how you feel because they labeled me the troublemaker. They labeled me the home wrecker. Do you want to form an alliance? Right? So they could all of a sudden form an alliance with Brooklyn and Nicola against the Beckhams. They could be a wedge to push them farther apart. And you could just imagine Victoria and David Beckham are like, oh my God, get away from my son, please, right? Can you just imagine like you're having a problem with your child, you're trying to work it out, and then somebody you cannot stand is now all of a sudden hanging out with your child? That would piss you off. And you don't know if it's going to be good or bad, right? So I think it could go one or two ways. But according to Neil Sean, Meghan is leaning toward being the peacemaker because she's trying to get back in with Victoria and David Beckham. But that is the 411 on that dinner party, that it was a coincidence. They were there as guests of their friends, and that is why Nicola was there, because again, she's a wannabe actress. But what do you think, you guys? Do you think Meghan sees the opportunity? Do you think she's going to play peacemaker? Or do you think she's going to form an alliance with the enemy of her enemy? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you and hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.